not from any porn sites or anything, but just on YouTube, like with gym hauls and that, girls shaking their ass and that. Yeah, after I was doing some research on how porn affects the brain, and I was seeing, well, like erectile dysfunction first of all. I have to be careful eating this sort of stuff because I could get constipated. I mind if they're going to say, oh, it tastes good. What does good even mean? Yeah, it tastes this way doesn't mean it benefits my health. As I say, single-layered thoughts aren't to be trusted. I didn't understand that a year ago when I made that video. Oh yeah, I'll see my abs 1 year from now. Watch, I didn't understand that. And there's a lot more I have to understand too, but in time. Just like how I got here in time. 4:15 in the morning, 4:13. Meal 2, I'm having this. See, I'm feeling so hungry. I was thinking, oh no, I shouldn't microwave it because I might wake my parents up. Imagine this as a parent hearing this at 4:15 in the morning, man. But I did it anyway because I'm feeling really hungry and I wanted something hot. You might not be able to see the cheese, but it's there. Couldn't find the grater. I didn't really look. But yeah. I just looked here, basically. Oh. Not too late now. Yeah. I didn't think 2 tuna cans would be enough. I didn't think 1 tuna can would be enough, but it is. It's alright. I've just been watching a lot of YouTube recently. While I'm working through some thoughts about no longer watching sexual videos on YouTube as well. Come up with a new way of thinking on that. Basically saying that I think I wanted arousal. I genuinely wanted arousal. Sexual arousal. That's why I didn't actually even know that that's what was happening. Through my dick getting hard watching those videos of women shake their ass. Yeah, I didn't actually think word for word that it was sexual arousal. It is. And might have got, I was thinking I might have gone out my way to get that as an escape from hearing all the shouting in the house that was going on. And that could still go on to this day. Nowhere near as much, but still could. And at the time I didn't know that there was a healthier option. That I could practice self-government, autonomy, being able to live how you truthfully want to live, being able to manage yourself, control yourself, which watching sexual videos actually discourages and inhibits. I'd say inhibits is a more appropriate word. Or a more appropriate phrase would be, in order to take accountability, would be I'd be inhibiting myself from exercising rational thought and reasoning from such extreme amounts of stimuli going to the reward circuit part of my brain through seeing all these sexual videos and all these thumbnails and that. Yeah. Also, I didn't know at the time, back when I was watching sexual videos recently, that I didn't think of at the time when I was watching these sexual videos that Oh, sorry, let me try that again. I didn't realise at the time that watching porn or sexual videos was a cover-up for all of the shouting, or potential cover-up for all of the shouting going on, and I didn't know that I could live how I truly wanted to live in a healthier way at least. And I didn't think of all of the unhealthy consequences that could come with watching those sorts of videos, like erectile dysfunction later on in life when I would be dating. And in my mind I thought maybe then when I might try and have kids, I certainly don't want to think about those thoughts right now. I don't even want to date right now. I've got a lot more work on myself to do. A lot more. In my mind, I'm saying, if I want to, I'll do it in my 40s, potentially mid-40s, early to mid-40s, or maybe even late 40s. I'm not prepared to hear babies crying in my prime, in my physical prime, in my 30s, nah. I allow myself to live how I want to live first. Allow myself to really consider if I'm willing to put my life on the line for children. Do things like what I'm doing right now, but just being on the other end of it. It being like potentially not being able to go to sleep because your child's eating at 20 past, going on 4:30 in the morning. I need to remember that I need to eat with both sides of the jaw, otherwise I might end up with a lopsided jaw. No thanks. I don't know where I got that from on the internet, but it could be true. I wanted some more food already. Like a tuna mayo sandwich. I was thinking, I've literally just been thinking of one video in particular of a certain lady shaking her ass and that. It could be withdrawals, I don't know. And it's not that I want to go back to watch those sorts of videos. It's just that that's what was on the mind. And also, I completely forgot to add greenery to that meal. I didn't consider it at all. But then again, it is 25 past 4 in the morning. But yeah. that I need water, not food. I'm thinking of all of the, how convenient. I'm thinking of all of the consequences that could come with you paying for illicit viewers. That I wouldn't have thought, that I wouldn't have come up with due to blocking myself from doing that due to having the taboo in my mind of watching, not necessarily watching porn, but masturbation's forbidden. Seeing as I come from an Islamic background, or Muslim background even, when I thought, when I was saying, when I corrected myself just then, I thought, for some reason I brought back to Islamic State or something, I don't know why. But it is an Islamic background. Just because it's an Islamic background, just because I said Islamic doesn't mean it's jihad or terrorist or anything like that. Come on now. One girl in school actually called me, unironically tried to call me a terrorist and that because I thought I had Muslim beliefs. It wasn't just that, I was saying, oh hey, maybe I might learn Arabic to learn the Quran, and hey, I might go to Syria, not Syria, Saudi Arabia, to do medicine, I think I said. And then she was saying, oh, what are you going to do? Build bombs there or something. Yeah, unironically, yeah. And then she wondered why I stopped talking to her. She genuinely asked me, maybe she wanted reassurance that she wasn't a piece of shit. I don't know. Or she was someone that wasn't worth liking. I don't know. That time was strange. Not only in that relationship that we had, but also in this conversation. Seeing as I was talking about not watching sexual videos anymore now, just gone on about this, how, anyway, yeah, creating new thoughts based on why I would watch porn and why I don't want to watch porn, and I was doing that on the tablet. Probably needed that for tomorrow, allow myself to get further organised when I wake up. Not for tomorrow, for today. Allow myself to get further organised myself after waking up. And create limits that I'll stick to in every other aspect of my life. Well, not every other one, but just in more aspects of my life, especially productivity, to help me further progress by having cash flows and further experiencing fulfillment and being on that path to creating a business of my own. That's what I'm saying. I'd want, but then that might mean I give myself a little space to grow, so I would have to find a way to do it in the very early hours of the morning / afternoon. I'm talking about that business, and then still give myself time and space to grow. Yeah. Anyway, that will be it for now. I allow myself to rest, seeing as it's so late. It's nearly 4:30, and see you in the next clip. I'll get the clips for yesterday together as well. Whilst I'm at it, seeing as I'm still awake from all this blue light. Gotta protect my eyesight, man. Have to, otherwise I genuinely might do so. Essentially further irreversible damage compared to what I might have done already. I got more ways to use my long distance vision by looking at far at things, but yeah, I could be doing more. Anyway, see you in the next clip, man. It's time to go to bed. Before I do though, I just want to say, John West tuna can. That's what I had. Yeah, And I have one of those similar green giant ones. Don't actually know what it is. But look. Yeah. Which is this right here. Anyway, I'm gonna see you after waking up, man. I see you. No, I'll record after I wake up. Meal 2, I think, 150. It was pouring it down today, and now it's starting to get sunny. It's cool. 150. I wasn't saying that in a passive aggressive way. It's just nice to see. And I felt really comfortable in the socks I was wearing, in these fresh socks I was wearing, because my trousers, my jacket, I got drenched. It was nice. It was nice to sit in the rain. Actually, the feeling of the rain on my legs felt nice. It felt pleasant. I can't quite describe how though. Oh, I'm gonna have some of this Nutella, but there's nothing in there. Well, sorry, not enough. It's not like it's just glass, but I'm not going out of my way to really stir to get Nutella out. Oh my gosh, look at this effing S. This reminds me of the shittle actually. So when it's a lot more liquid and a lot less solid, this is what it looks like. Oily. The oil starts to show. The nutty smell smells stronger as well, which is interesting. But it's making the bread. It doesn't look the same on the bread compared to when this bread would be solid. The reason why I'm weighing this anyway is because I want to track it, because it could be 1,000 calories, which is half a day's worth of calories if I'm on a calorie deficit. So just to further make sure I know how much I'm ingesting of this meal that I consider rather unhealthy. Because there's no green really in it, there's no vegetables, it's extremely processed. But I don't know how processed, I don't really know. But to me, I'm considering this an unhealthy meal, and it's not like I'd be having this meal on a Monday where I said, okay, I can have mum's cooked meal. I said one hot meal, one cold meal like this, and that's fine throughout the week. But even still, it's like, I'm not eating it. I'm not really eating it because I want to enjoy it. It's just more so because it's there. But I need to go shopping. I need no chicken, no steak. I've got the spinach. In my mind I say no spinach, it's not true. I do have spinach, I've got lettuce, so it's not like I don't have vegetables. I've run out of red onions. And I'm probably gonna throw that wholemeal bread I had away because it's just a one slice and I'm not gonna use it. Yeah, it's gone moldy. I don't even need to show it. Yeah, it's gone moldy. Oh, I don't need to show it outside the packet. But actually, I'm gonna take it out anyway, since I'm emptying it. Phew, that stinks. Oh no, it's the bin, because there's moldy rice in there too. Yeah, look at that. Well, completely done. Then you can see even the moldy breadcrumbs. Unpleasant, unhealthy, destructive. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have this meal and I'm gonna weigh everything here just to make sure I have a clear understanding of how much this meal actually is, because it could be a whole lot. Like potentially, seeing as I want to put on, well, seeing as I want to increase my weight or quote unquote build muscle, I don't even like that idea anymore, man. In my mind, I'm saying, I hate that fucking idea. Yeah, I need to increase my weight. The reason why I say I really hate the idea, I strongly dislike it, is I'm feeling thirsty. That's first of all. Second of all, I'm done being taken advantage of, allowing myself to be taken advantage of by the fitness industry, or the ideas of the fitness industry. I want to lose fat and build muscle, yeah, come with us. And then put myself in a position where I'm depending on a gym to improve the state of my health. Here you go, just like how I usually have it. That's going to help me get some sort of liquid in, even if the semi-skim milk's unhealthy, and even if some people think, no, well, it's semi-skim milk. No other animal drinks from cow udders. I remember someone saying vividly, even though it was like a couple of years ago or so. Back then, the idea of drinking almond milk seemed foreign to me. Not unpleasant, but foreign. Like, I've never heard that idea before. Never. Potentially ever in my life. I was thinking of having 3 slices of bread, but I told myself, no, have 2, because it's gonna hit quick. It's hit quick. I'm feeling full after 1 bite and one gulp of milk. Self high five, well done to me for that one, because that was a sensible idea. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this at going on 2 o'clock in the morning, in the afternoon. I actually ate at 4 in the morning. Imagine that. Yeah. 2 in the afternoon, I'm having this meal. Oh, according to the clock. Well, the time on the clock, that's like 1:57. Yeah, and I'm gonna weigh out or measure what I am taking in according to MyFitnessPal. Yeah. Through scanning this and then the teller I used. I'm finishing off the milk because I might actually get more protein in that way. This is how much I have left of the sandwich. I had 1 extra bite before actually going to get the milk. So I made the decision to get the milk. I had a bite of the sandwich, and then I actually acted on it. I allowed myself to think, and I thought, you know what, I'll just have some water instead. But then I thought, no, I actually will have some of the milk because I might get more protein in that way. Seeing as milk has protein, I think. Shit. I know I can find out. I can find out, dude. Like every 100 grams, see what it's got. So it's not like I'm not in the know. I can find out, and I'm actually going to scan it on MyFitnessPal and see if there is any sort of protein in the milk. I'm guessing there is because it comes from a cow. That might be incorrect logic. That cows have a lot of protein, of course, but there's the milk that comes from their udders have a lot less protein than the steak part of the cow would, of course. Well, so I think it's not going to be like 100%. It's not going to be like 95% protein, but maybe 30% protein from the milk. Maybe. I don't know. That's my guess. Uneducated guess. I don't know, but I'm gonna see. I don't think it'll happen. To me, it just doesn't make sense that milk would have more protein macro-wise than a steak would, even though they both would come from a cow. Anyway, that actually is quite an irrational belief because it lacks reasoning. However, that's what I've got. That's what I've got, man. I'm gonna go find out now. Yeah, cool. I was basically bang on. It said the specific milk I used had 29% protein in it. I was basically bang on. I'd say close enough. Close enough. Oh, I also wanted to talk about the sandwich that I had. So, MyFitnessPal is telling me that the bread and the Nutella is 635 calories in total. I say that, I literally have just felt a tightness in my stomach from eating this food. Along with what I ate earlier at 4 in the morning with the pasta, I think it could be because the pasta has so much fiber, if I'm not mistaken, that it's quite hard to digest the pasta because fiber, if I'm not mistaken, is indigestible, which could mean I get constipated. Or does fiber soften shit? Well, does it soften excrement? I remember reading on the internet that it does. I don't know, but I sense I'm feeling a lot more alive, a lot more not awake, but energetic. That's it. Bang on. Energetic, both how I carry myself and also how I'm speaking now since having some food. It could be the sun as well, but I don't think so. I Am Lucid talks about seasonal depression. I'm not sure I have that because I felt more than okay out in the weather. I didn't feel any discomfort specifically due to the weather mentally. In terms of depression, I felt physically uncomfortable in the weather if I had to take my hood off because of the rain hitting my head. But as for depression, no, I don't think it affects it. I don't think I'm allowing myself to be affected by the weather at all because I felt completely in control of my mind and body. I did feel a bit uncomfortable in a sense that I can't quite describe. It's just lower energy levels, I think. I say can't quite describe, but I'm going to go out of my way to describe it. Lower energy levels, maybe. Difficulty to have a conversation with someone. The big man, I've decided to call him. Specifically because I was feeling that hungry. It's like, when I was just around, I was thinking, you know what, I'm not in the right frame of mind to have a conversation because of this hunger that I have. Or the increase in hunger hormones I have due to not eating. But anyway, I could certainly improve my social skills, that's for sure. I'd always start off with a question. That would be my go-to. The only time I remember I might do different is if I had built a friendship with people before. And I think that'd be because I haven't consciously gone out my way to change how I would start off communication with people that I wouldn't consider myself friends with. Because I vividly remember saying now that my social skills are okay. And although I might be able to have a basic, shallow conversation with people and a deep conversation every now and then, I could improve it. I could improve my social skills. I could have more fun, more interesting conversations. I could. I realised how saving my conversation style would be. I'll ask a question about what the person in the gym's doing that I'm wanting to speak to. Like a lady, for example, today, actually, that I've spoken to in the past. And I just sat with my thoughts. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I'd start a conversation in the really same way. Ask a question to such as, are you doing pull-ups on the assisted pull-up machine? Because you can on the pull-up machine, you can do dips as well, which she was doing. So for some reason I was thinking of asking that question in particular. I wasn't really paying attention. I knew she was doing dips. I saw her doing dips, but I wasn't paying that much attention to what she was doing. I was just on the leg press, chilling, doing what I want to do, and working through my lustful thoughts and actions, actually. And that could have been a part of it, but yeah, it'd be ask a question about what they're doing, then it'd be like, how are you? And then it'd be, oh, I've got this foot pain, and then it'd be something about what I'm about to do, and then that'd be it. Goodness me, that's quite boring, mundane, extremely ordinary, and I'm saying that with a negative tone to it. If I wasn't, if I had many friends that I'd be getting the same sort of conversation with that same person who would be doing the same the same conversation style that I'd be doing onto me, I'd probably start thinking, wow, this person lacks conversation skills, regardless of gender. Actually, I say regardless of gender, but I was thinking of a guy doing it. So maybe I actually do mean a guy in particular. Seeing as I haven't recently got attention from women, even down to a platonic level, because I don't have friends. In time, I'm getting there by going out my way to speak to different people. So I really do believe I'm on the way there, and I'm saying that, as I said, with belief. I'm saying it and I'm believing it, because my actions actually line up with that belief. By going out my way to speak to different people, more ladies in particular, because I wouldn't be speaking to ladies at all, really. I'm thinking of in my mind's eye, hearing some music which I hear from watching a specific sexual video that I've seen online. Maybe that's withdrawal. Maybe it is as a cue to get that next hit of or stimulus to the reward circuit, as I depend on that to cope with life. It's something I can handle though, and it's something that I'm working through, just like I had to work through the fearful thoughts, but I've completely related to the skate park, but I've completely overcome those now. I was just out and I saw two teenage boys on the street. I felt no fear, no physical in the form of physical tension, none. I've just flipped the camera around so that it doesn't take up as much storage filming these videos before putting them onto CapCut. I was going to say live, but that's what I meant, before putting them onto CapCut and creating a final project. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I felt no fear, and I've got a lot of working through lustful thoughts that I might have to do, just like how I had to work through those fears. It's like, those thoughts, those withdrawals in my mind, as I'm thinking about it now, 2:15, just after eating my meal, I'm thinking that those thoughts, I don't think it's obsessions, because it's not, I wouldn't think of it excessively. Maybe throughout the day more than once, yeah, but not multiple times a day to the point that I feel unhappy with thinking them. It's not obsessive. I don't think of it in an obsessive way. Under that definition I've just given, pardon me. And I've worked through how I'd worked through why I'd compulsively go on to watching those sorts of sexual videos. And I'm now actually starting to think that I could have been looking at ladies. I look at some ladies as sex objects. For example, when I stared at a lady's bum one time, or more than once actually, a minimum of 3 times in that overcoming mental attacks daily log during that day. I think I looked at least twice on camera and then another time off camera. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, but no pun intended. But yeah, I think maybe seeing as I was watched these ladies perform courtship behaviors like twerking, seeing as they'd be highlighting their genital region by shaking the ass. I think I could have been seeing ladies literally, like in real life, as basically potentially as like live porn, live softcore porn. In my mind, this is a very new way of thinking that I'm developing. It could be true. It's just an idea, and I could have been seeing ladies in this way from seeing them do so many squat exercises which especially with eye-catching clothing, could mean that you look at their bum, and then because of the taboo that's around looking at a lady's bum, especially as a man, then you might make yourself feel unhappy about it, because we might have been conditioned to think that we as men, if we do that, even though the clothing that they wear could be aggressively eye-catching, if we do that, even if it's a glance, we're perverted, when that isn't necessarily the case. It could simply just be that for example, we could be watching a whole load of sexual videos online, and because we'd be looking for sexual arousal, it could be that without us realizing it, that's how we get it, in order as a coping mechanism to escape from something. And I think that something could have been the toxic environment at home, a whole load of shouting. Maybe it could have been sense of inadequacy from not performing to a standard that I would have liked in school, both during GCSEs and A levels, for example. I say even during that time, I didn't, from 16 to maybe 18, yeah, from 16 to 18, when I hadn't been on a pornographic site in 2.5 years, I would still go every now and then and see sexual videos, which would have the same effect, at least to some degree. Like, I remember watching a Metro Last Night game, I think it's called, And there's a sex scene in there that I vividly remember watching. I think there's sex scenes in Frankenstein as well in the game. I think I don't remember, but now that I think about it, I remember the lady's name, who's Frankenstein's wife, Anya. I think I don't know. Actually, no, I'm certain that's her name, but I don't know what the game's called. Maybe Frankenstein the Blood Chapter or something. I remember it being a red background and white writing, large white writing. Is some old-fashioned font or no, I don't think so. But anyway, yeah. From watching all of these videos and experiencing an excessive overloading stimulus to the reward center and sexual arousal, and feeling a sense of reward chemically speaking, down to a chemical level, we might be constantly trying to get that, literally like how crack addicts would be trying to get their next buzz. It'd just be that actually I can't speak for other people. It could have just been that I was trying to get a next hit from looking at that lady's bum. Down to a chemical level, not rational level. And speaking of, the fears that I had from the skate park compared to the lustful thoughts and actions that I'm now having to work through, I see have one thing in common. Allowing myself to act on those thoughts inhibit my faculty of reasoning, or my ability to reason. I might have used the word faculty incorrectly there, seeing as I don't really know what it means. But when I say faculty of reasoning, what I mean is my ability to think logically with reasoning. Rational reasoning with proof, for example, or just many different reasons why I wouldn't want to watch sexual content, or not content, videos. Don't need to use fancy words. Videos. It's not that I was trying to use fancy words, but it kind of just happened. Yeah, sexual videos, both sexually implicit and pornographic videos. Oh no, it's okay. 10% battery warning. That's all. And also looking at ladies in the gym in a lustful way. All of this. Those two. Sorry, I lost my track of thought. Those two things have the inhibition of reasoning in common. The physical feelings that I'd experience are different. If I were to think fearful thoughts of not looking at certain people when walking on the street, for example, I wouldn't get sexually aroused from that. That's not sexually arousing. That's not sexually arousing. That my dick would not get hard from feeling fear when walking on the street. I actually did that one time and then saw it was just a man and a woman walking together. Like, it's not even that big a deal. So there were a couple of people that looked shady on the street one time when I was walking, and yeah, I would inhibit my ability to reason through those fearful thoughts. I know that now. I understand that now. But I could very quickly, because I've done it quite a few times now, and argue maybe many times, as I was about to say, I now know to check myself to make sure that I'm safe, and it's becoming more automatic. I do that more automatically now. I was going to say it's becoming more automatic for me now. No, it's me that's doing it. It's not just happening. Yeah, those conscious thoughts that I had from watching Therapy in a Nutshell's video about using fear to check to make sure that you're safe. That's why it's there. I think it's now starting to become subconscious. I think I'm now starting to take that into my subconscious mind, because I understand that that's what it is there for. So hence, I do it more automatically. After thinking about it consciously for enough times, or for enough times for it to just feel, not feel, be more just automatic. For me personally, but I was so specific with my words. But I do it so that, no, I do it out of habit, actually. It does breed the foundation for knowing what I'm saying, which is probably why I did it in the first place, because I've been wanting to know the meanings of the words that come out of my mouth for over a year now, I think. Back when I'd write about it on the laptop that I broke, pardon me, and maybe even the laptop, but that's working that I use, that my dad's giving me, that I did not go and buy. In time, insert real name, in time, yeah. I was thinking of calling myself CJ, seeing as that's my alias that I've decided to pick. CJ is in calisthenics journey, but it doesn't even matter. Again, I am now having a different sexual thought in my mind's eye. It's a visual one, and it's a white lady, American, blonde, in white lingerie, shaking her ass on camera, with a drink in her hand. Alcoholic drink, I think. A beige-coloured alcoholic drink. Beige-coloured translucent alcoholic drink with black writing on it. Small black writing. This is saying something. Those sexual thoughts are visual and auditorial. Because I remember the one video that I referred to in the past, and another one now that I'm thinking of it, of another white lady who looked young, who looked maybe like 18, maybe even 17. I'd say, yeah, if she is 17, if I knew her age, it was 17, I would not watch that. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's even in the eyes of the law, that's a child. Hence, I pulled that face when I said 17. I'm not a nonce, man. But yeah, anyway, this is saying something. It doesn't, those thoughts, and now I'm going out my way to understand them. I'm listening to them, in a sense, in the form of paying more attention to how they work, or how I do them. And that is predominantly visual in my mind's eye, very vividly visual, no blurry details really, because that is that stimulating. It provides that much of a stimulus to my mind. Well, I'd be providing myself that much of a stimulus to my mind that I remember it so clearly. Remember another white lady who I assumed was American. I think the reason why if I were to be watching those sorts of videos outside of the fact that that's what the channel that I'd be watching those videos on recommended, it'd be because I stumbled across porn when I was 12, and the first few pornographic videos I'd be watching were white American ladies. So I think I even remember the very first female porn star that I watched. It would always be the female I'd be watching, not the guy. I can't remember a single guy's name who I've watched on pornographic sites. And maybe even in sexual movies, X-rated movies, for example, like a couple of Korean ones that I've watched, where the sex is what certain porn companies might call unsimulated. as in they're actually doing it for real. They're actually having sex for real. It's made out, through all of these videos, it's made out to be such a pleasurable thing, seeing as regardless of gender, you could get such a massive, would get, I can't speak for other people, sorry. I would get an excessive amount of stimulation to what people will call, or what I've heard on YouTube as the reward circuit to the brain. It'd be too much. Just like, oh my gosh. Just like how I had to work through those fearful thoughts from about the skate park, which I've mentioned in Plank Day 81, Plank Day 90, the 1 year transformation journey movie length video that I made, and in other videos that I've made in the past. Those are just the ones that I remember, which I talk about them in depth, those fears in depth. I am now working through my lustful thoughts and actions in depth. I am now starting to sense that as I further become the man who I'd want to be and live how I truthfully want to live, well, not even the man, forget gender, the person who I want to be, living how I want to live, having the values I want to have. It seems like in order to do that, I'm having to work through the 7 deadly sins, slowly but surely, in some way or another, both directly and maybe indirectly, by going slightly around it. Maybe like, I don't know if fear is a deadly sin, but it's certainly within that area through, like it's closely related to anger and wrath, seeing as you might feel fear from someone showing anger and hostility to you, just like how I felt my legs shake when Dad has gotten in my face more than once, on multiple occasions throughout the years. Maybe I'm actually going to have to work through my anger and deep sadness even more than I have done at the moment over time. And I certainly will give myself, when I have a job and multiple cash flows and even many passive income cash flows, and when I'll be debt free, I need to give myself the time to grow, like how I'm growing now, mentally, to work through things. Or otherwise I might regress and live in a way that I regret later on in life. It seems like that's what I'm having to do in order to really move forward. I've had to work through fear, which might not be a deadly sin, but it's related to things that I don't want to do, for sure. I am having to work through lust, which is a 7 deadly sin for certain. And then after that, I don't know what I'd have to work through. It probably is going to get easier, actually. It might actually get easier, because I wouldn't only have experience to deal with it, but my how much I'd dip my toes into the other 7 deadly sins might not be as strong. Anger, yeah. Lust, yeah. Fear, yeah. Gluttony, yes, but I probably would be able to work through that fairly easily, because it would just be a matter of controlling compulsions. Compulsions meaning impulsive actions. It wouldn't be like I'd be trying to work through like physical feelings like how I've had to do for fear and lust,
fear as in like tension in my sternum and lust, dick getting hard, heightened heart rate, shaky hands slightly, and mouth salivating. But as for gluttony, I can't imagine myself having to work through anything like that, any sort of physical feelings. Fear is that it's here, and then, as I've said, the lust have to work through sexual arousal, which is very physical, which it'd be within my best interest to further understand that, see how it works. I know how I'd think about lustful sexual videos on YouTube. Now that I've said that, I've now thought of one specific video again, which I go back to over the past couple of days. So that would be a cue or a trigger in itself. The audio of these videos, that would be a trigger in itself. It'd be with one particular lady, white lady who I've assumed to be American. Yeah. And then, watch history as well. Seeing those sexual videos in watch history just made it too easy to go back to watch those videos alongside not structuring my efforts through saying, oh, at X time I want to do this, at X time I want to do that. I don't want to say managing my time, because I mean I can't manage time, but I can manage my actions. The sun's gonna set the same way, the sun's gonna be up the same way, and the sun's gonna rise the same way. There's some Nutella there. That was impulsive. That is a compulsion, an impulsive action. Yeah, well, by my definition anyway. As I've been learning about it more and more through psychology books and about OCD, actually, through reading the A-level psychology book that I have. Yeah. So, I'm going to stop it here for now because it's on less than 10% battery, but I am willing to talk about this more. So I might do that in the next clip. And if I don't, see you in the next clip, talk about food probably. And if so, yeah, I'm going to just allow myself to keep on talking, but it probably won't be here because I'll be putting my phone on charge. Or I might actually stay here because I don't want to be in the bedroom, man. I'd be making it more difficult to focus because the place would just be used for storage, so it's a mess. Yeah, anyway, see you in the next clip, regardless of what I talk about. Yeah, man, 2%, it says 2%. I've certainly got to put my phone on charge. Sensible decision of me, well done. High five, there you go. 6:29 according to the clock on the wall. I'm about to have this meal. I'm having 300 rather than the 250 because it lacks protein, so it's not going to be all that filling. And there is some chicken in the fridge. There's some chicken slices in the fridge which I'll add, but maybe some shito sauce I'll add for a different flavor. But other than that, yeah, I could add the corned beef, but I've already had that. I need to go shopping, man. But anyway, I'm gonna add some extra stuff in there, and then I'll make another clip when I've got all that extra stuff. I'm watching some healthy game with GG at the moment about porn addictions to further help me understand why I'd watch sexual videos on YouTube and girls shaking their ass, and just further understanding it, further working through my lust, really, overcoming it. But anyway, in pursuit of being able to live how I truthfully want to live, and seeing people, ladies in particular, how I want to see them, human beings, not sex objects. Anyway, I'm gonna get on with it, add some extra stuff, and then that's me done. Right, 6:40. This is what I came up with. 4 slices of this. 4 slices, and I just ripped it up and stirred it all in the rice and the cheese. So there was the egg fried rice, then I put the chicken in, then I put the cheese in, microwave that, and then just put the spinach in cold, and then the shit off at last for some different flavor. Yesterday I thought it was excessively salty, but and I also thought today that I could be killing myself eating that amount of salt with this in this extent, but one time should be fine, right? Listen to me justify it. I'm feeling hungry. Hold on. I'm feeling hungry. Hence, I pulled up my t-shirt to show how tight my stomach is. And my core is. I really am gonna really demolish this, but I've got to be careful though. That's what the fork's for. That's what the plate's for. But yeah, I need some water with this, and then that's gonna be my meal. While I was watching some YouTube, some healthy game with GG. Yeah.